Mhm.
Merry Christmas to me.
Excuse me?
I like it, Santa.
You're not supposed to sexualize Santa Claus.
Oh, but I like it. Want me to tell you what I want for Christmas?
Yeah, you can sit on my lap, baby.
Okay, sounds good.
I'll show you my
I like
package.
it.
No, it's too much? Okay, I'll slow down.
Too far. I
Okay.
like it though.
You did not tell me what you wanted for
Yeah.
Christmas. You have to tell me.
See,
Oh,
I need. Where's the little hat?
there's
here?
my hat. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just you.
Just
That's
me?
it. Just you.
Okay. All right.
Maybe work a little more on our book.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't ask me what I wanted for Christmas.
Oh, what do you want for Christmas? I'm just still thinking about how cute you are in the Santa suit.
So I shouldn't say something about Stella here.
Why am I not surprised?
I think we can clone her. I do think we can do that.
I don't think that that's a good idea.
No?
Well, we've covered this. It's not going to be the same.
Do you have...
But what are you getting Stella for Christmas, I guess?
Ooh. Well, I thought about getting her own home. Like just buying an entire house.
Just for her?
Just for her.
She'd be so sad because you wouldn't be there.
In our backyard. I would connect it. I'm about to buy the house next door.
Okay.
Put a tunnel. Connect the houses.
Is this your way of telling me you want your own place? Like, I brought you here to break up with me.
I mean, you already make me sleep in a different bed.
Whatever. So. That's not even true. It's an idea, but...
You'd love that.
Not true.
You get away from my snoring, I think. That's what would happen.
Yeah. Santa's snoring.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about getting Stella some, like, enrichment toys, though, you know. She's getting a little older.
She sleeps a lot.
So we're like, maybe she needs more intellectual challenge.
Yeah, like a puzzle book or a Wordle.
Yeah,
book.
that's what I was.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah, no, Ollie's been researching enrichment toys for dogs, so maybe we need to pick up some of those where she's got to solve the puzzle to get the treat and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have reading dates with Stella. So you could read to me and Stella. I'll hold Stella.
Why does she have to become part of everything we do?
Because she is everything we do, Andrea. What do you want from me?
Welcome to our next chapter podcast. I'm Andrea. This is Santa.
They called me Santa, Matt. Yeah. I'm a robot Santa, apparently.
Yeah, Santa's got the move.
That's right.
We are a married couple. So I guess that makes me Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
Been together since 10th grade. Yeah, you are not. We are leaving that in 2025. I will tell you that. But been together for 25 years, married for 20.
It's true.
2 almost grown boys. Whoa. One who's officially an adult now, which is very weird. Turned 18.
Very weird.
But we were just thinking about what our next chapter in life looks like with these almost grown boys, and started reading romance novels together. And Matt suggested we write one together, and so we started a podcast to document the process. So thank you for being here for this process.
Welcome.
It's been almost a year. It's been an incredible year, and throughout this year we started, talking about authors that we love, that we were reading their books and spotlighting them, and then we got to start interviewing the authors we love, and so we've got
the great author we're talking to today.
No, we're so excited. We can't wait for you to meet her. She was such a pleasure to talk to,
good.
And so today you'll get to hear our interview with LaQuette, whose new book, Janae Sanders, Second Time Around, comes out on January 6th, and we can't wait to read it. We are so excited and hope that you'll go pick it up too.
For sure.
But she was so much fun to talk with, and so we'll have that just a little later. But
first, I put together, I love my games.
I know.
I love playing games with you.
Yeah.
I put together a game that I'm calling Stock It or Stuff It. Okay. And so
Is this like inappropriate?
I mean, I haven't said anything about coming down your chimney yet, but we can stock it or stuff it. It's its own game. It's its own thing.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a gift prompt, and you tell me if you would stock it, keep it, or stuff it, get rid of it. Okay.
Okay.
And they're all kind of like book reading.
Okay.
Adjacent.
Okay. So is this how you're deciding what you're going to buy me?
Yeah, this is actually your list. I'm going to check or exit.
Okay.
So what about a whoopee cushion bookmark? It makes that fart noise every time you close it. So it's like a little whoopee cushion, and as you close the book.
Oh, that's kind of cute. That's a little funny.
Okay.
I mean, it might be bad if I'm like reading at night when you're sleeping or something, and then it's like, but I guess you might think like
it's no different than your normal.
You probably think it was
cushion
yourself.
situation.
You woke yourself up.
Okay.
But no, it's kind of funny.
And put a little check mark next to that one. Okay. How about a scented bookmark designed to enhance immersion, but it kind of smells like cheap cologne and regret? Like it's got a little bit of that like motel-y.
I don't want my book to smell. I don't know.
No book smells?
No.
You don't want to?
I love the smell of a book, so I wouldn't want that to be overshadowed, especially by cheap cologne and regret.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You sure you don't want to smell like regret?
Yeah, pretty sure. Right.
How about a bookmark with a motion sensor alarm that just loudly beeps if you close the book too hard or you bend the spine? I know you're very precious about your books. You really want me
to have bookmarks?
Maybe. You've got enough books.
I feel like I said like, oh, maybe a bookmark would be good, but like.
Yeah, this is all I've got is bookmarks.
I don't need motion sensor.
Let me see. This is my last bookmark.
Okay, I'm like, I have enough things that trigger me and are. Yeah.
But what about if you close it too hard? It's like, whoop.
No, I'm very gentle with my books. I can be trusted with my books. Yeah.
Or what if you put it on page 67? It's like 6. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay, fine. I'll put an X next to that one. How about a scratch and sniff romance accessory pack? So it's going to be like the bookmark will be part of it, but like maybe stickers or a cover, and they all smell like different things. You know, like leather or like emotional tension. I don't know.
No, I don't think
you don't need anything stinky. Okay, I'll keep moving then. So. How about a decorative pillow shaped like a book? It looks cozy, but it's printed with just like random pages, but it's just wildly uncomfortable. Like an uncomfortable pillow that looks like a book.
I am so confused why you suggest things like this. Like I was thinking like, oh, book themed stuff. Like I even heard Michael's has a good selection right now of like book. Okay. And they were like, oh, this is perfect if you're making your little reading room or reading nook or whatever. So I was like totally with you. And then like, why would you design a book that's uncomfortable or a pillow that's uncomfortable?
It's part of the game. I'm just wondering where your line is for gifts.
Yeah, that's on the.
I got it on Temu.
I don't want an uncomfortable pillow. Although we were talking about Louboutin shoes and how like they are designed to be uncomfortable for women, which I just don't understand. But
you know what? I won't ever get you any. Don't you know what?
I didn't say that.
Right now, I'm putting a stake in the ground. You're welcome. I'm gonna do this as a favor to you.
Stand
next to them. Like I can put them near my feet.
The shoes. I'll just hold them in my hand everywhere we go.
How about a tote bag made specifically for books, but it cannot support the structural weight than more than one paperback? So it's like a tote.
Once again.
But it's very thin.
Why can I not fully enjoy the gifts that you're going to give me? Why do they all have to have a problem? I don't need more problems. I solve problems all day, every day. Give me
what a brag.
That works and functions as it is designed.
That's not exciting, okay? That's not how life works. Okay, life's more fun when you have the spice.
We went to Barnes and Noble. Oh, can I shout out who we met?
Yeah, you should. Oh, we didn't even talk about that. We should.
I know. So we got to go meet Catherine Sinner of the Love Haters. We got to meet her and get our book signed. So exciting. And we went to Barnes and Noble, and since I'm a teacher, I signed up for the teacher reward thing, and they're like, oh, you get a free tote bag. And it was the nicest tote bag. It was the best quality. So I'm like, why would you
handle 2 paperbacks?
A terrible tote bag that can't even hold books. But Catherine was so nice.
Was awesome.
The Love Haters, I know I've already spotlighted her as our author of the week one time, but this book is so good. And then she has a new book coming out in May called The Shippers. But we got to meet her, and it was really special.
She was great.
She was awesome. Thanks Barnes and Noble too for the cool tote bag that worked and held multiple paperbacks.
Oh, that's fine.
And hardbacks.
Fine. I'll put a maybe next to that one then.
No, I'm good on tote bags.
How about like a tiny, those library ladders that roll side to side, but it's really only like 2 steps for this shelf right here. For this shelf.
That might be kind of cute.
Just like a little one.
But like, if it was supposed to look like a mini, no, that's cute.
Okay.
I like
a little ladder.
I don't actually need to use it, but it might be cute for the set.
Here's the last one then.
We have our little Christmas stuff on our set today with our Santa. I painted that, by the way. Matt and I he took me for my birthday one year, and we each painted little like Christmas boards. We sanded them and distressed them and stained them. Yeah, it was really fun.
That's fun. Let's do that again. Last one. How about a privacy book sleeve that is really bulky and then it has Velcro? It's like every time you open the book, and then you close it because it's private.
Have you ever read a book? Like, do you understand readers?
What if I Velcro every page together so you can be like,
Most people read for escapism and relaxation and comfort.
never heard of those
Why?
things.
Why would you design something that
So we're going to
ruins
make that a
all
7 out of
that?
10 then. Okay.
No, negative 7 out of 10.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, that's the game I had for you today.
I'm terrified for
You know,
games.
Santa will bring you exactly what you need, girl. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about Santa.
I would rather have that than anything else on that list.
Don't worry.
Tell you that.
Santa will be there.
I'm excited. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope you're as excited as our conversation with LaQuette.
So excited. Y'all are gonna love her.
Today, we're joined by LaQuette, a Brooklyn native who writes what she calls sentimental and sexy fiction. Big emotions, bold characters, and stories that feel fully alive. She's also currently earning her PhD in women's, gender, and sexuality studies with a focus on Black feminism and how interiority and joy show up in romance. So she's bringing both that deep craft and the deep thought to every single thing she writes. So today we're talking about Janae Sanders' Second Time Around, the second book in the Savvy, Sexy, and Single Club series, a second chance romance about love after divorce, motherhood, friendship, and what happens when the person you're falling for is suddenly on the opposite side of something that really matters. We're so happy to welcome best-selling and award-winning author LaQuette to our next chapter. Hey,
thank you
welcome.
so much for such a warm welcome. I so appreciate it.
Yes,
I'm
welcome,
so glad
welcome.
To have you. Thank you for joining.
We do have question number 1. We have it lined up.
First question.
Very important. So we
curious.
saw somewhere that you grew up watching daytime soaps with your grandma. And that is very much our experience as well. So I had to start there because I'm sure that definitely drives some of your storytelling. You got to tell us about it.
God rest her sweet soul. My grandmother, Doris Davidson, in the hood in Brooklyn, poor, right? And so there was no money for babysitting. And so I had to go to work. My grandparents became my babysitters, my daycare.
Yep.
And so from 12:30 to 4 p.m., my grandmother was watching all of her stories, as she called them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that included at the time Ryan's Hope at first, then that became Loving, All My Children, One Life to Live, and General Hospital. And if I
love it.
Grandmother, I was watching Loving, All My Children.
That's right. That's
absolutely,
right.
Absolutely.
And better not disturb her or there will be hell to pay.
Yeah. Yes.
I probably was way too young to be watching those and soaking all of that drama in.
Same.
But what it did do is give me this sort of innate understanding of storytelling when it came to matters of the heart. It made me always want to see people find that love they were looking for. And so when I started thinking about writing romance, I was probably about 18 years old. I had first romance through a friend of mine named Andrea, and I was a junior in high school. And she used to come to school every day with what I now know to be Harlequin Presents, these little category books. And I knew nothing about romance and knew nothing about much of anything in the world at that time. But because I was a teenager, you couldn't tell me anything. So I said to her, arrogance, why you keep bringing those trashy books to school every day? And she shut down with 5 words. Have you read one?
Good question.
Good question.
And so I was just like, you know what? No, I haven't. She says, here, take this one. And she gives me what was The Devil's Price by Carol Mortimer was my first romance. And I went home and I read that book in a night. Like I remember enthralled. I was on my knees at my bedside, just with leaning on my mattress with the just like totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so involved in it. Like you couldn't tell me this wasn't happening to me And so I went back the next day and was like, okay, I need more. And she would bring me at one every day until I exhausted her supply.
Oh my gosh.
And and as a broke kid, I'm like, well, how am I going to get my own? And she says, go. I'm ashamed to admit I didn't have a library card until this point. Um, but I went and got one, and I was at the library every single day. And to the
That's
point,
amazing.
I take out a stack of books, and the librarian's like, "Are you really reading all these books?" It's like, "Absolutely, I love these."
Yeah.
But as I read those things, I noticed that, you know, there was never anyone in those books that looked like me, that was Black,
Mhm.
or person of color, or lived in places like Brooklyn. And so after
Mhm.
I think I read them for about 2 years, and then I sort of lost my interest in them.
Yeah.
And I realized that was because I want something that was relatable in a real world setting
Mm.
to my experience. Not to say that I can't read and enjoy books that aren't my experience, because
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sure.
but after reading so much and never encountering myself, it began to lose its luster. And so and I think that's when I even went back to the soap, started watching them again.
Mm-hmm.
uh, at the time, on General Hospital, there was the storyline about AJ and Jason Quartermain, and they both fell in love with this woman named Keisha, who was like the first. She wasn't the first Black woman on the show, but
Yeah.
like the first younger Black woman,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
very early 20s. Um,
Yeah. The
Mm.
yeah,
ingenue. Yeah.
Mhm.
sharing sort of a similar situation, because we were in the same sort of, the character was in the sort of age group that I was. Uh,
Yeah.
and these two Quartermain boys, who were the most popular boys on the show, were like ready to kill each other. They were brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to kill each
Mm-hmm.
other. This woman fighting for her hand. And I was just like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
interesting. And all sorts of like stories and ideas started popping off in my head, and I started
Mm.
Yeah.
putting those. I think my mother gave me my first computer when I was like 18. And so I would just sit on that computer for hours and just dump stuff out of my head. And
Mhm. Sometimes you gotta let it go. Now,
Yeah.
I love this story because,
Yeah.
if books are a source of escapism here and there, you always want to put yourself in the place of the characters. Well, who am I
yeah,
in this story, right? And if you're not seeing it, you're not feeling it, then it's like you can enjoy it, but it doesn't connect and resonate in the same
Yeah.
way. And
yeah,
Absolutely. Not
that's one
that
of the
same emotional connection.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've kind of been talking about something similar in the same way of like just the age of our characters.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
We're mid-ish 40s, and it's like we're not seeing that in these
Yeah.
books either,
I know you've talked about
and I
that
know
as
you've
well.
talked about that as
Mm-hmm.
well. I'd love to hear your POV on that. I'm kind of jumping ahead in our interview,
Yeah.
but
No.
I love it.
Yeah.
well, I mean, I'm 48, so no spring chicken here. I am disgustingly in love with my husband of 17
Oh,
years,
I love that.
for 18 years. And we still are very childlike with each other. Like, it's still,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
so we laugh and giggle at the silliest things, and our silly little insider jokes, and the goofy things that we do to each other just
Yeah.
to you know get a smile out of one.
That's marriage right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. The entertainment.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, like, not having that in my relationship, or feeling like just because I've reached a certain age that I
Right.
Right.
I can't have that any longer because I'm no longer 20. And the truth is, when I was in my 20s, I was terrible. I was horrible. I
I'm
I could
telling you.
relationship to save my soul, because my head wasn't in it, my heart wasn't in it. And I
Right.
maturity to be able to enter into a long-term relationship like that. And it was just like, I was one of those people who needed to have life experience and do
Yep.
things by herself before she was ready to become a partner to someone
Yep.
else. And
I love that.
pretty much the same experience. So it was
Mm.
as someone who we didn't get married. I was 30, he was 31. No, he was
Mm-hmm.
30, he was 32 when we got married. So as someone who got married toward the later spectrum, it just really didn't make sense to me that older people, or I can't even say old, but like middle-aged people, can't
Yeah.
Right.
have love, maintain love. And so I started thinking about um this show, or this, it was first a movie and then it was changed into developed into a television series, The First Wives Club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I was reading a lot of like rom-coms, and I just felt like this is cute, but I'm tired of reading about 20-year-olds. Like, they exhaust.
Exactly.
Yep.
At some point, it just feels inappropriate almost. I'm like, some of these, when it's a college kid or whatever, I'm like, I can't get into this. This feels like my students.
Yeah, I'm like, they were great reads and well written, but I was just like, I don't want to get in that headspace anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Very early 20s and making decisions that I was like, girl, get your head together. What is wrong?
Mm-hmm. This could be solved with a conversation.
This could be solved with a single adult conversation. I
so like, I wonder what would happen if I had 3 divorcee women who had all 3 had different types of marriages, and all 3 had different types of divorces. Very contentious divorce, and Vanessa Jarrett's got a man with an ex. 2 with a divorce that was also contentious, but now that they are divorced, her ex, went back to get therapy and get his life.
Do the work.
They actually have a better divorce than they did marriage. Beautifully. And then to have one who literally had the most amicable divorce ever. and literally, is so afraid to lose the people she loves that she's actually tied herself in a situation that she really didn't need to be into, just to prevent her from having to take a risk on the love that she really. So having those women, I was just like, I wonder what would happen if they were like besties, like they formed some sort of group. And what
I love it.
Look like for each one of these women, and what would each one of these women need from a partner in order to risk again to step into not necessarily marriage, but a solidified committed relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like you said, it's so important that they are coming in with that experience. They do know what it is that they're looking for, what it is that they need. And my friend has a great quote. I think it was from her mom that I just love. She said, it takes a great man to beat no man. And I'm like, I love that. Like, that is so true, because I think when you are a little older and you've had that experience, and then maybe the divorce and you're on your own, and suddenly you're getting to live in your own space. And if you put your remote down, it's there when you come back, it's like, you really do have to find the right person that is going to fulfill whatever needs you may have, because you are so capable and independent, and I don't know, I just feel like you step into your own, especially in your 30s. So I think that's really powerful to have your characters be a little older, have that experience, know those things, just know themselves, I guess, a little better.
I did want to take a half a step back, and growing up in Brooklyn, I'm really interested. I don't hear about I hear about authors coming out of Brooklyn, of course, but like, how did that place shape you culturally? You've been there and part of the scene for a while. It's like, how did that place really change you?
There's no place in the world like Brooklyn. The thing is, I live in the Pocono Mountains, but whenever it asks me where I'm from, the answer is always Brooklyn. And but are you living in Brooklyn? I'm like, no, you didn't ask me where I live. You asked me where I'm from. I'm from.
I love it. I love it.
It's Brooklyn.
It's true. Forever. That's true.
Brooklyn is, for me, it was life. It was love. It was community. It was fun that was very particular to Brooklyn, like growing up as a Black kid and having like coming outside and playing with other kids, playing double dutch, playing, Skelly and all these types of games that little urban kids figure out how to play to enjoy themselves and stay out of trouble. These were all things that really shaped who I am as a person, what my perspectives are in life, and especially when it comes to community and family. That is a great deal to me, because again, when you grow up poor, survival is not something you can do on your own, and you have to really it's not just us that I often really get upset when I watch movies or read books and it talks about poverty in such dire senses. And I don't mean that poverty isn't serious and poverty isn't terrible. That's not what I mean at all. But this idea that people who are impoverished cannot thrive, can have great cultural value, cannot form strong ties to their community is ridiculousness. Because when my mother couldn't afford food that week, our next door neighbor was inviting us for dinner. And then the next week, my mother would do the same for her and her family.
Right.
Collective, like it was a collective community that, we all took care of each other. And I think that, like, when you grow up and get the job and start earning an income and then you move to the suburbs, there's something that's lost in that, because the suburbs are really geared toward that kind of community where you're fit.
Yeah, there's more individualism, I feel like, in that community.
And so many of my books are really just about community ties, and community not necessarily being a neighborhood, but and you and other people who share similar values coming together to help each other make it through life.
Yeah, I love that.
Always have, like, my characters very rarely have no family or no friends who are family. And if they do, they are swept up into their partner's family and community and invited to stay to that, because again, I grew up with that. I still have that, and I don't think I would be able to be me as I am now, the person that walked through the
100%.
This body today. I don't think that I be her without having had that wonderful experience of knowing what it was to care about other people around me and to know that we were all responsible for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Of just, we're all in this together, and you like finding your village. I love, like you said, of being so intentional with writing your characters.
You're kind of giving me goosebumps here, because I literally had this discussion with my younger son yesterday about, people say money does not mean happiness, which I still very much believe, because it's like, I told him the older I get, the more I realize that the relationships and the family and the community is so much more important than me making $5 million a year. Like, sure, that's great and fun and we're comfortable, whatever.
Provide security or
but
whatever.
Like,
it solves some problems.
It does solve some problems. But if you want to talk about what life is and where real stories happen and emotions, like, I'm right there with you. I couldn't agree
like you
more.
said, the joy that you experience when you're part of a community like that, and where everybody's in it together and everybody's looking out for each other. And there's no such thing as like my kid or my family. It's all ours. We're all looking out for each other. I think, spaces and communities that are like that are so beautiful, and there is so much joy and connectedness. And I think that combats the isolationism and the loneliness and the things that I know a lot of people are struggling with today. So that's beautiful.
It's true.
You grew up with that, and then you prioritize it in your life and in your writing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was.
Let's transition to talk a little bit more about the book specifically.
Coming out in a few weeks, January 6th, right?
January 6th.
Yeah, it's quick.
Coming in hot.
So it's Janae Sanders' second time around, right?
Yes.
And do you want to tell us a little bit about it? Give us a synopsis.
Quick synopsis.
Janae is a woman who suffers from strong Black woman syndrome. She has never really anyone to support her the way she needs to be supported. And so what that has taught her, what that particular trauma has taught her, is that she has to take care of herself and her son by herself always, which makes her kind of hyper vigilant. And, everyone loves her, but they also know that she's a control freak and cross her because she just will cut you. It's not that. And she runs into her high school nemesis, Adam, who has been away from the small town that they live for the last 20 some odd years. He left for school, became a big basketball star, joined the NBA, and then realized this wasn't the life he wanted for himself, and turned to education and became an educator in New York. Comes back home because his father is ill and needs him, And he's coming back home because he also wants to try to pursue Janae, which he wasn't able to do when they were kids.
She's the one that got away.
Does not make it easy.
Sounds like out of survival mode, though, that if she's not had backup, it's hard to turn
It is
that
out
off.
of survival, but it's also out of feeling rejected. Like, had unknown crushes on each other. And because they were, immature teenagers, they didn't handle it in the best way. And so he just poked at her because that was the only time she would pay him any attention, is when he would do things to her. So he took AP classes with her just to challenge her in class to get a rise out of her. He was
interesting. That sounds familiar.
Interesting.
Guy just poking at her for his own dopamine. Yeah.
Her being the smartest person in the class was the thing she, was most confident about. And he, no, I'm going to take this class just so I can be in this class with challenge everything and get on her nerves. And that's exactly what he did. She had a crush on him, but he was a jock. And so she never thought, like, as a plus size girl who was very confident in herself and very much happy in her body, she never thought that he would be interested in her, because all he had around him were very slim, who fit the traditional beauty standard. And so she kind of like has a little bit of hatred for him because she liked him but didn't feel she could say anything about it. Her, but couldn't feel he said anything about it. And so he's like, now I'm grown, I'm not playing with you anymore, I'm coming back to get what I want.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. I know second chance romance is always, it's super tricky just as a genre within itself. What do you think made this the right moment for them to get back together? They just finally they did the work like we talked about, and then they finally clicked?
I think it's because, one, they did do the work. Two, just the right time, because they were both married in the past. Three, Adam needs to come home because part of his issue is also that he had to fight to become his own man under his father's shadow. And now that you go home, it's easy to do that when you live 200 or so miles away from your father and you don't have to see him or be around ways every day. But now that he has to come home to help take care of his very crotchety father, it's not so easy not to fall back into those familiar roles. And so he knows that in order for him to his father is also one of the reasons why he never pursued Janae when they were teenagers. And so he knows now that if he's going to be the type of man that Janae needs, a strong man that's going to stand by her side, that's going to step up for her, that's going to be consistent, he has to do the work himself and figure out this thing between he and his father so that he can show as his own man.
That's awesome. I was going to ask you too, I know you touched on her being a plus size girl when they were in school and things like that. That's something we've discussed a lot about our own book, and even touching back to when you were talking about seeing yourself in the stories that you were reading. So I've been a plus size girl my whole life, growing up from a child into an adult, into adulthood. And it was a big discussion that we had on one of our earlier episodes of the podcast of just wanting to be really intentional about, first of all, if we describe our female or both of our characters' body types in any way, and then how we go about that. And so I'd love to just hear some of your thinking or intentionality around crafting Janae and her character and confidence.
Well, I have been everything from a size 22 to a 0. I've always trended larger. In my midlife, I've dropped a few pounds, so I'm somewhere around a 10 to 12. But I've never, naturally, as a child, been a very slim person. And one of the things that bothered me as a reader and a writer before I started writing plus size women, because I've always written curvy women, but I feel like my first set of like exclusively plus size heroines were in books like Harlequin and my Devereaux Inc. series. And I wanted to do another book where the heroine embraced who she was. Like Janae doesn't up with her weight at all. I could
Right.
reading a book where the heroine is plus size. I was so excited to read this book because it's not very often that you get stories that are
Exactly.
plus size bodies or larger bodies. And the heroine absolutely hated herself.
Mm.
Like to the point where when she and the hero are intimate on the page, like she's wrestling with the sheet to keep herself covered, and he gets like, if I didn't want to be in bed with you, I wouldn't. Why, why are you doing all this? Why are we fighting with the sheet like this? And that even the hero at some point says, I think when he first meets her, he says, he's thinking she would be cute if she lost a couple of pounds.
Mm.
I just couldn't understand, like, why?
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's
Why?
rough.
She
What is
would
the
be,
point? Yeah, what does
Yeah.
that do?
Yeah.
and I hated it because
Yep.
I could be a big girl all my life and I never had a problem getting a man.
No, right? No, and like you said, just being confident, self-assured, and
Yeah,
it
confident.
just it was the least interesting thing about me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always cute. I was all
Mm-hmm.
fashionable, so it didn't matter what size I wore. I was
Right.
presenting and showing up as LaQuette. And so I couldn't connect to that. And that is not to dismiss that there are people who have serious
Sure.
issues
Right.
with their weight, who struggle with their image. That is not to dismiss that at all. But what it does bring up the question is, why is that the only representation of plus?
Right.
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 Only way we can show plus size women, men, whomever? Why is
Yep.
that the only way we can show plus size people that have to hate themselves in order for them to be worthy of love?
Yep.
Right.
I don't subscribe to that. I can remember watching a show called Drop Dead Diva from a while back,
Yep.
where this model she dies unexpectedly and she sneaks out of heaven and gets reincarnated into a plus size lawyer's body. And now she has to, so at first she's like, I can't do this. But then she begins
Yep.
to realize, like, I'm still me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna make this me.
And
And
bring
Make it work.
all the same strength to
Yes.
the table. Yeah.
and I thought it was the most hilarious. I mean, I thought it was a great period, but the transition for this woman being a stick thin model who, the running joke was that she and her girlfriend always had like diet margaritas and would eat things like cashew for lunch.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
the only fat
I
they could
never
have.
understand this.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
I never understand it anymore. I'm like, especially as the writer, it's like,
Right?
why don't you write the world you want to see instead of echoing
What we've got. Yeah.
gross
Exactly.
stereotypes or like
Mm-hmm.
this is you're the
Yeah.
author. You can
No.
write it how you want to
I
write it.
love that
Absolutely.
you're doing that with Janae and with your
Yes.
characters, like you said, with the Devereaux.
Janae
Yeah.
is a perfect example of a woman who loves the skin she's in. Um, she does not feel shame for who she is. She knows she's attractive. She knows,
Mhm.
people should desire her.
Yep.
There is no question in her mind that she's a catch. And the same thing for all the other plus size I've written in my Devereaux Inc. series. Like, these are all plus size women who
Mhm.
it never enters their head. Their struggle is never that. Their conflict is never that. Their
Yeah.
Yep.
their body size, and
I love that.
that is something that we need more of in media,
Yes.
books,
Yes.
television, movies.
100%.
I absolutely love Amber Riley for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
A movie called Savvy Sheldon is Feeling Good as Hell, and it's an adaptation of Taj McCoy's book of the same title.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I loved reading the book, but I loved watching Amber Riley really embody this character.
Yes.
Never
Yes.
is she, like, she actually breaks up with her boyfriend who gives her, like, I think he gives her like some gym membership for like her birthday or their anniversary
Gosh.
or something.
Whoa.
And she's
Whoa.
like, you gotta go.
Yeah. Like, nope.
Yeah.
Well, strike one equals
Not
strike three.
settling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not it.
That's not it.
That is not it. That is not it.
Her. And I just want to be able to create stories like that where plus size women look at my books, get into the stories, and see themselves being loved and adored, and that their weight is never something that's considered. Like their weight is
Right.
considered. They're never expected to be on a diet. Like my girls eat.
Makes life fun. Yeah. Yeah, enjoy your life.
telling
And
you.
I think that's so powerful because it gives your readers, and it gives, like you said, in media, it gives the women watching the permission to step into that identity for themselves. I think media is so overly critical of women for everything that it's possible. I mean, Matt gets that
Yep.
being in advertising.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's so important, like you said, just create the world that you want to see, write that world, and that that's what you're
Absolutely.
creating. It's powerful for those readers that get that permission to
I was going to say, before we jump into the game, I just wanted to ask you one last question about the book. Just, the book, we've talked about it, I've read a lot about it. It sounds very exciting. What do you think is the thing you'd like the audience to walk away thinking after they finish the book?
That love is messy, that R is a combination of what we've been through, what we've experienced, and some experience we don't always recognize a good thing. And the whole purpose of this story is to learn to love again, to learn to trust again, but also to learn that you are worthy of having a supportive partner and you shouldn't have to do it all on your own. And just because you can doesn't mean you should have to.
Right. That's
Mm.
beautiful.
Love it.
Thank you. Can't
Awesome.
wait. January 6th.
January
We'll
6th.
post all about it too in the show notes, and at the end of the show we'll
Yeah,
tag all the social media handles and things like
for
that.
sure.
Can't wait.
Let me drop us into the game then. The game
Yeah.
is called Dating the Enemy. Thank you so much for agreeing to play. We know that the book, Janae Sanders' Second Time Around, it kind of shows what happens when, enemies, lovers,
somebody
we've got
you
some
meet ends up
collision
being
in there.
different than you thought.
Ends up being a little different than you thought, that kind of thing. So I want to give you a couple scenarios and we can chat about it. There's no rules to this game. But I want to give you a couple scenarios and I want to know if you would keep dating this person or you would put it on pause or you would walk away from this person.
Deal breaker.
If it's a deal breaker.
Mm.
All right. So I'll start with number one here. Okay. Your best friend has just been laid off and you've heard all about it from your best friend. You've been the shoulder she's been crying on. And you've been helping them update resumes and vent over wine, of course. At the same time, you started seeing someone kind and steady who checks in after hard days and shows up when he says he will. But then you realize that is the jerk manager that fired your friend. The question is, would you keep dating? Would you pause or would you walk away?
Oh no, that's a tough one.
Right.
Because I think you know a lot about the manager, but all the negative stuff. You would know a lot about this
Well, and
person.
then you think about group dates.
Group dates? Oh my goodness.
It really because if I know my girl, like if I know how my girl is and I know she's a little problematic, I might have to.
Yeah, that's true. Oh boy, that's a great point. Which friend it is? Oh man.
And that factors into it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm down for my girls for whenever, but I'm also
right.
Yep.
And so if I know you problematic as hell, I'm gonna be like, girl, I don't know.
Okay.
And if you got this great guy, you're like,
a little bit, date him casually to see if there's something that I need to invest in or not.
Right. Good call. Good
Okay.
call. I love that. Yeah.
I like
good
that.
answer.
That's a great answer because that's exactly.
That's good. And that's being loyal and
You're
realistic.
being loyal, but you're also
yeah.
you're being very realistic because we do have a couple of those friends where you're like, yeah. Okay.
And what happened?
And what
Everything
happened?
will-
Oh.
To them, and it's like, why doesn't he like?
Yeah.
Well, there's one common denominator in this whole thing, but we don't want to talk about it right now.
No. That's real. That's
Okay,
real.
great answer. Perfect answer. Let me hit you with another one here. Let's say your family has owned a small sandwich shop on Main Street for generations. It's like a coastal town or something. It's where you grew up, where people know your name. But you meet a charming man jogging on the beach. You fall into easy conversation, go on a few dates that feel light and hopeful. Then you realize he manages the corporation that just bought the property and plans to shut down your sandwich shop to build a parking lot.
Oh no, got to go. He's got to.
Yeah,
I think so.
That's just
We can't.
bad juju.
It's hurting the family.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, there's no way your family's gonna be like,
welcome. You
There's-
destroyed the family business.
Yeah.
He completely, gives up his plans to destroy family business. We can't roll. We can't rock together.
Yeah, I like that. You give him a chance.
You tell him, hey,
You have two choices.
you got a choice. Okay.
I love that. I love it.
Good one. Okay, then let me go with this one. Let's say you're a film producer and you just keep grinding to get your projects made. And you start dating another producer who challenges you creatively but believes deeply in storytelling. And over time you realize he's the person that keeps killing your projects while they're in development with your boss. Not out of spite, because he believes that he's protecting the art of film. And he's just constantly undercutting you on your job.
On your project.
Yeah, nah, we can't be together. He's the ops.
Right?
Agreed.
Identified and
Yeah.
Eliminated.
It doesn't matter what crazy quirky plan I come up with. Like when I told my husband, I think I want to go back and get my PhD. His response is, all right, let's figure out logistically how we can,
Yes.
Yep.
but he supports me. Like he never says to me,
Yep.
"No, you're not doing it.
Yep.
I don't want you to do that," or your idea is silly. Right. And so, yeah, that someone who is constantly undercutting you,
Yes.
of you, they don't really care about you.
That's
Love it.
very wise.
Agreed.
Very,
You're
very
As I was
wise.
reading it, I was like, yeah, this does sound rough. Man.
Yeah.
As somebody who's really into art, I'm like,
against you.
yes,
Mhm,
yes.
mhm.
Okay. How about this one then? You meet a warm, steady man through mutual friends, someone deeply rooted in his community. He walks you to your car, remembers your coffee order, and talks openly about faith and responsibility. A few weeks in, you learn he sits on the board of a church that voted to sell its building, displacing the congregation that's been a cornerstone of the community for generations. Mm.
That one
Hmm.
is nuanced because
Yeah, there's
why
layers.
selling the building? Is it that they can
Mhm.
support the upkeep of the building and maybe,
Mm.
the building is costing them more than they can handle?
Right.
And that I can't say that that's an irresponsible decision or that it's a decision
Yeah.
shouldn't be made. So it would be nuanced. It would be why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why.
Well, what if
Fair.
the big company came in and was just offering a lot of money for the church,
The-
and they were like, "Sorry, congregation, you got to get out of here."
I grew up in the church and that was just another community, another
Yep.
Another place.
that space. I spent so much time in that space that, and when it did eventually close, once the pastor became infirm and wasn't able to
Mm,
continue the process of keeping the upkeep of the building, it was devastating to a lot of
yep.
Yeah.
who were parishioners there. So if it's just
Yeah.
about, nah.
Yeah.
I'm
But
out.
I mean, that decision's not going to be made lightly.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, there's nuance, there's layers, and he sounded like a pretty stand-up guy with your knowing
until
your coffee
until the
order.
very end,
I don't know,
when he was selling out the church for a couple doubloons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, I got one last one then.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's say your child is in a school arts program that helped them come out of their shell. You've been at every meeting fighting to save it. Around the same time, you start dating a thoughtful, attentive man who brings snacks to your kids' rehearsals and actually listens. Then you learn he's a school superintendent who signed the paperwork cutting the program. What do you do?
Does this
Does it sound a little
does this
familiar?
sound-
It's very familiar. I would be mad at first, because I would have questions like, "Are you playing me? Are you just trying to
Right.
up? Like, did you know who I was and what you were doing all the time? Was it really a coincidence?" And I think that would determine whether I was able to
Yeah.
continue with that person, because if the intent was to deceive me,
Mm,
we can't be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that-
You
I like
see,
that.
that's where that wisdom and experience is so
telling you.
critical. These like conversations
I'm
that
telling you.
grown people with experience know to have.
Mhm.
This is so powerful.
I'm still working on that. Are you talking? I'm a work in progress on that one.
Tell me something.
We
Danger.
all
No,
are.
no. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for playing the game.
Dating the enemy. Good one.
Dating the enemy.
I
See,
like
a little
it.
different.
Yeah. We're curious about a little bit about your craft, as
Mm.
we're working on our first novel together and finding our way through all the bumps and bruises of it. Just curious, what does it look like for you? What is a typical day of writing? What do you like to create for yourself as far as an atmosphere?
I don't really like. I don't need the my office to look a particular way or anything like that. I just need music, and I write with
Mm.
music. Helps me emote. It also helps me sort of connect everything else that's going on. So it depends on what I'm writing that day. I have different playlists for different emotions. If I want to be inspired, I listen to gospel. To if I want to have fun or confidence, I listen to hip hop. If I'm trying to set like a loving or sexual mood, I listen to R&B. And
Yeah.
things sort of help me get me in the headspace where I'm supposed to be at to be able to write the scene that I'm writing.
That's so smart. I feel like that's the first time I've heard the idea of having a different playlist based on what your goal is. Like sitting down. I mean, I feel like
we hear a lot about like just for a book, I had this playlist that was just up and down, but
I love the idea of when you're sitting down with a goal for the day of what you're trying to write or what type of mood you're trying to create and having a playlist for that. That's a really creative idea. I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing. That's awesome.
Yeah. I did want to ask about we know your academic work focuses on the Black interiority. How does it show up practically in your storytelling? Like, how does that become a core tenet?
Because I write from the perspective of Black joy, and that oftentimes Blackness represented in popular media, it's always attached to the notion of struggle, right? And not to say that the struggle should not be, or that it is not.
Right.
It is extremely important because it acknowledges what has happened,
right,
what we have overcome. But somehow in the media, what we've come through has become the most identifying factor about us.
right.
The sole identity marker for Blackness. And so if you are Black, if we are telling a story, it cannot be authentic unless this person is suffering in ways that societal Blackness is.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So they're growing up in a crime-ridden, impoverished place. Again, I grew up in the hood. I didn't know we were poor until I actually became older, like a teen,
right,
out of my mother's house, when I realized, oh, we were really struggling. I had.
We were happy.
Just living life, yeah.
I
was just out there living.
Yeah.
And I had fun. I had family. I had community. But we don't get to see that the dynamic representation of Blackness that should be, and that Blackness is really represented in this really monolithic way. And so a lot is oftentimes creators who don't have a cultural touchstone Blackness, or don't have any proximity to Blackness at all. They write and so they think that this is real, and it gets perpetuated over and over again. So that society actually believes this is authentic Blackness. And so when I come, beautiful plus size Black women who are fluffy and fabulous and living their best lives, and having partners who are treasuring them, and their story is not in any way connected to what has been considered societal struggle for Blackness.
Right.
Totally.
Right, or trauma.
For
Yeah.
some people, it doesn't land. And for me, from the interior, and from other Black writers who are writing similarly, we're writing from knowledge of knowing that our struggle, we have no shame in our struggle. Our struggle
Yeah.
shows our resilience. Our resilience
Yeah.
is our identity marker, not what happened to us.
Absolutely.
Right, from
Absolutely.
the perspective that we have joy because we've earned joy, and there should be
Yep.
other explanation. By the mere existence, by our mere existence, we have earned the right to be happy and joyful. And so that's the position I write from. But if you don't understand Blackness from that perspective,
Yeah.
it's really easy to write a story where all do our struggle. And sometimes it's done with the intention of honoring Black folks. But again, it's
Like you said. Yeah.
those stories did not
Yep.
exist. Why are they the only stories that exist?
Yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
That is so incredibly powerful. I told you I'm in advertising, and one of the things, I've worked at multicultural agencies before, dealing with more Hispanic culture type stuff, and we get in this same, not to say the same situation, but very similar. Like, it becomes shorthand for a culture, right? Like to throw a sombrero on something, and or here's a maraca, and so people know that
I see
you're
Latino.
literally, yeah, and it's just. Both as that person and a person who writes that stuff, it's not interesting. I'm like, I'm over it. And I think it's done a lot of the times for the audience to shorthand that shortcut into the brain of, oh, you're that kind of person.
That's the culture.
But that's not interesting. That's
There's
not fun. And that's not real life.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
not life,
No, there's so much
So
more storytelling.
that's so
Like you
powerful.
said, that's so powerful too, of just, you're being part of creating that, what you wanted to see, and what, just, seeing yourself in those characters and creating that for your readers and for media, and just really setting that example of the world as it needs to be, as it should be. That's really beautiful.
I think it's also interesting that when, like, for instance, like this idea that this notion that people are one thing only when they belong to these different subgroups or any.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, Blackness is not monolithic. It really depends.
Right.
It depends on several different things. It depends on geography. It depends on socioeconomic status, education, employment. These are all things that impact all of our lives culturally.
Everybody.
Really shape how we are as individuals and communities. And so, like, my husband and I, we grew up in the hood in Brooklyn. Our kids are growing up in a gated community.
Yeah.
Blackness to them is not the same thing as it was.
Very different.
Yep. 100%.
And so, but that disconnect still remains in popular media, where folks really don't understand that these kids are walking around in like Crocs and all this like suburban life. And I look at them constantly and like, who are you?
Like, man.
Yeah.
I always tell the boys, must
so
be nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice. That's how I always tell our boys, man.
Different.
Woo!
Different experience.
Must be nice.
It's true. So it's that disconnect.
I love it.
And I'm hoping that, my work and the work of my peers who are writing in a similar fashion will sort of reshape this idea of who people get to be, right? I always question, why can't Black women be? And what I mean by that is, why must we always be assigned a role? There are only particular are allowed to play in popular media. And when we don't play those roles, there's almost this mistrust that how can this be real if this is not what I've seen all the time, right?
Yeah, and we're not seeing that
barriers.
Yeah.
It's the representation and, showing.
And I love that you're creating that for your own family too. Like you and your husband are getting to create that for your children, and then you creating it in media. I'm curious too, with your PhD studies, like how has that influenced your writing and your characters as you've learned and discussed and researched and things?
Well, the strange thing is, like, when I entered my PhD program, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be learning all of this, new stuff. And I have. But what I also began to realize is they really weren't teaching me Black feminism. I was living it. All the things learning. These were experiences I was having my entire life. I just
Yep.
Yeah.
aim for it.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
For the
Yep.
They put the name on it.
Period.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that's what I'm learning. I'm learning
Yeah.
the literature that's out there that really speaks to my existence. And that has been an amazing that has just been an amazing experience to walk into a space that has been created for me that focuses on
Yes.
so much of my education has been
Yeah.
trying to make things Black. And this is the first time I'm walking into the academy, and the information is there already. I don't have to do any twisting. There are
Right.
theorists and scholars who are talking about these things,
Yeah.
learn from, and I don't
Yeah. It's so affirming.
had that experience. Not even in like, again, like popular media and reading romance.
Right.
It's only very recently, like I didn't discover people like Brenda Jackson, Rochelle Allers, Donna Hill, Sandra Kitt. I didn't discover them, Frances Ray, until I was in my 20s when I started working and had some disposable cash and could go into a bookstore and buy
Right.
books that were out there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that idea of not being able to see myself, like it was so affirming, as you said, to
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
and see my mother, my sister, my cousins, my aunties in those books. And it's just something I wish that, and it's the reason why I write, because I don't want my niece, who is currently 9,
Mm-hmm.
to have to wait until she's in her 20s to find books that tell her
Yep.
she's lovable just the way she is.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I write so that she doesn't have to, so that whenever
Yeah.
she
And to see her
wants
life
to read that,
represented.
it's there for her. She'll always be able to pick.
Yep.
She can't pick up anyone else's books. She can pick up her auntie's
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking
I
about.
love that.
herself.
Yeah, I guess
I love that.
in that same vein, I- I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on how you feel like the romance genre itself
Mhm.
is like. What does it do well when exploring identity and agency? Just that specific.
I think
I don't know.
romance is still very siloed,
Mm,
like much of the rest of media. It's people who engage with media. We're very selective in how we select our media and what we entertain, or what we want to entertain us and engage with. And while I can say that the publishers that I've worked with have been very kind to me in making a space for me and giving me room to be me without trying to restrict me and make me a carbon copy of anyone else that's in their line, there's always room for more work. And
Yep.
while we have a handful, because there are not a lot of us, right? There are, and whether you're in the trad or the indie space, many of us still face some of the same problems with distribution and visibility. In my name, in like an e-tailer, you'll find sometimes other white authors who are listed prior before you get, you'll see their books up.
Interesting. Interesting.
If you
interesting.
I have looked at like my author page on Amazon, and I've seen white authors listed as, if you've read LaQuette, you might want to read these books. But of course,
Huh?
Yeah.
that's the same.
Wow.
So there is this disconnect, I think, where I can, there, people want diverse romance, but I don't think publishing has necessarily caught up to that.
Caught up.
I'm caught up to it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's work to be done for
Significantly.
sure.
There's still, I love working with Harlequin and St. Martin's Press. They have been so, I have had such wonderful relationships with them, in bringing work for each of them. They've been extremely supportive. And they're still working, not just with me, but with other authors, trying to bring more diverse authors in. But I think there has to be something done industry-wide.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really
A
have
bit of an overhaul.
impact in order for us to really get to a point where representation is not something we have to be reminded of, but something that is just naturally part of
Just exists.
the
Culture.
exist in part of the culture.
Yeah, because like you said,
Yeah.
there is such a demand for it and a need for it. And I feel like I'm just curious too where that starts from. I mean, I'm like, does the publishing industry see this as the need for the overhaul? Do the readers need to be more vocal? Like when we go into
That's a
our
good question.
indie bookstores or when we speak with publishers, like, you know, and I say we as like readers and consumers, you know, it's just like, you know, I guess it just starts from all sides, you know,
Yeah,
just
the push and
pressure
the
from
pull.
all sides.
It
yeah,
is.
to-
It's a
to see this.
collective. It's the industry, it's readership, because industry and readership really is what create opportunities for authors, right? And so
Yep.
have like you'll see all of these wonderful new romance series being made, and everyone's like, yay, 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 this is wonderful, right? That they've been adapted into television. But where are the stories that feature Black and brown folks, that feature
Right.
plus folks, right? We're just
Right.
something like a heated rivalry. But again, even
Yes.
rivalry, it's very white.
Very. Yeah. I know. I'm so
Yep.
excited for the Skyland series, Kennedy Ryan Skyland series that's being turned into a show. I'm like, I loved that series and I can't wait to see it on screen and just see these characters come to life. And I think that's going to be so important and like
I think it's gonna
supporting
be
those
awesome.
projects and I can't wait. Yeah, just promoting those things and you know,
Being
you want to
aware.
see the Summer I Turned Pretty and the heated rivalry and you want to see that same hunger and just the machine of marketing.
The presence,
behind.
the visibility of it.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
in all our
absolutely.
algorithms and so I'm hoping for the same thing for
Yeah.
that. But yeah, thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing.
just being vulnerable with that. And,
I know you have cookies to make, so we're
I
gonna
know.
take you to our
Yes.
last section.
I
know it's
quick
cookie
one.
day.
Yes, this is, aren't you thrilled? Yeah. This is the final 5, our lightning round questions. There's no wrong answers. Just answer as your
Easy
heart
peasy.
says.
Okay.
Just whatever comes to mind first. So number 1, open door or closed door?
Open door.
I love it.
Always open door.
Yeah. Favorite romance trope to write?
Forced proximity. I'm always gonna find a reason that they have to be together. Like
I
it's
love that. I love that.
There's only one bed in this room. It's so
That's
crazy.
so weird. Yeah. What's the best setting for a second chance romance?
I think any setting can be the best setting. It really depends on who people are. For the small town, for Janae and Adam, it works because the nature of the town, their connection to the town really influence their relationship and how they connect. But we could also do the same billionaire romance where maybe they've had past dealings because they've each been fighting for the same deal every time one of them gets it. You know,
absolutely
home upset and mad about it. So I think we can do it.
I love it.
Any set.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. What's your favorite beverage when you're writing? What do you like to have?
Coffee and ice water.
Just side by side, the 2 drink. Yeah.
That's me. That's my life. I drink coffee all day long.
I know. Every time
it's a problem.
we go to a restaurant, it's always like tea and water, coffee and water.
Coffee and water.
I drink the water because I have to remember to hydrate. But
exactly, but the coffee.
The coffee's what keeps me going.
All day long if I.
And last question: what's one word you always overuse in a first draft?
Oh, eyes.
Eyes. Lots of eyes.
It's always something with the eyes. Gaze.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I think you're the second person to say that now.
Something like that. Yeah.
This is
it's like
in the final 5. This is my favorite question, and I keep saying this, and on all the final 5s because they're so interesting.
It's very interesting.
Like I think that's cool.
And I'm curious to find out like what is ours.
I know.
What does ours end up being like? What's the word search? But no, that's a good one.
Like before you turn your document in, that you do a search for eyes, gaze, stare.
Right.
Okay.
Anything. Yeah.
To make
so much can be communicated. Yeah.
You're communicating it all through the eyes. It's a window to the soul.
That's
what do you
right.
want from me?
That's right. All really set the mood there. I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us. Yes,
Thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. I appreciate it.
This has been so fun.
We're excited for Janae Sanders' second time around.
Yeah.
Right?
And if you're out there, the book's coming out January 6th. We'll drop all the socials and links down at the end at the show. We'll chat through them. But yeah, thank you so much, LaQuette, for joining us today.
Thank
forever.
you.
Awesome.
You have a great day. I'm going to go bake cookies that I didn't want to.
I hope the cookies are going well. Tell your husband thank you for being part of the team with us, sharing you with us today.
Indeed.
We appreciate it. It was such a pleasure meeting you. Y'all have a great day.
Same to
Have a
you.
good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you again so much to LaQuette for your time and just advice.
To talk to
and
her all day.
vulnerability. I know.
That was awesome.
She was awesome. We appreciate it so much. So excited for her new book, Janae Sanders' Second Time Around, coming out January 6th.
January
A
6th.
pre-order would make a great Christmas gift or holiday gift. You can find her online on Instagram and TikTok at la_quette, so LA_QUETTE, or at her website, LaQuette.com. And so please go find that. Like I said, it would make a great holiday gift, and we're just so grateful for her time.
That's right. You know, another holiday gift for me would be go to our website.
Yeah.
Sign up for the non-existent newsletter. Tell a friend about the podcast. Oh, Merry Christmas.
Yes, that would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell friends about the podcast. Tell them to start listening to all this guy's antics and things. Join that non-existent newsletter and get your name in the back of our book when we publish it. Hopefully in 2026. That's the goal. Finish it. And publish, yeah. But we thank you so much for being here with us this year. We all hope that you all have a wonderful holiday season and a very Merry New Year. We will catch you on the other side.
Your break time to read some books.
Yes, and find some time to rest and relax and enjoy the calm quiet of reading a book.
And I'll go find you the gifts.
Matt will not make you any Velcro book sleeves or
smelly bookmarks
or motion sensing bookmarks that beep, where we will not do any of that. But there may be merch in 2026. We've been discussing that. So keep your eye on our website, ournextchapterpodcast.com, and find us on Instagram at Our Next Chapter Podcast as well. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. Nope, that's getting left in 2025 too.
Yes.
But I do want you, Santa. Can I pull you for a chat?
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I got some.
Have you been on the
Christmas shopping?
Are you on the good list or the naughty list?
We'll see.
Oh, okay.
You gonna be under my tree?
Maybe. Under your something.
You're ridiculous.